this experience changed you?
I have to be more careful about planning my meals and being prepared ahead of time. I have a huge advantage in that I work from home, so I'm home all day, and a lot of the things that are cheaper are more time intensive. With convenience comes cost. So a lot of the things I can do that maybe a lot of other people wouldn't be able to do or it'd be more difficult for them. And so what really changed me is I used to be a fly by the seat of your pants. 5 o'clock would hit, and I think, what do I feel like eating? Now I have a plan, and I no longer tie my emotions to the meal. We have our meals, we know we're going to eat, we know it's going to be filling and tasty and nutritious, but it's no longer satisfying that emotional need. So that's actually been something I wasn't expecting.
And when you were talking a little bit about your background and how that affected it, could you talk about how your background affected, where you're coming from now?
Which background?
When you were living in Denver.
Oh, yeah. Previously, a few years ago, my family actually was on food stamps from the state for, about 3 months while my husband was unemployed and I was also unemployed. And what I noticed is they just send you in the mail an appointment, you show up, they give you your allotment, and that's it. And then they set you loose on the grocery store. And as I said before, I never was taught how to create a meal plan in general, how to plan a dinner, how to do it nutritiously, let alone for a week or a month on a really tight budget. So I had no clue what I was doing or even how to do things. And it's something I've come across with other people is there's a real lack of education for people to eat healthy and inexpensively. And I think part of what my blog is about is helping people see that they can do it, they can figure it out. It's not that hard. It takes some effort, but it's not really difficult. And I hope to be an encouragement and education for them by linking recipes or mentioning how I arrange my day in order to get whatever meal it is on the table.
And even one meal you said was hamburger helper with lentils?
Yeah, I found out that instead of ground beef, the really perfect ground beef substitute is lentils and rice. It's basically half lentils, half rice. You throw however much you want to eat in, you add twice as much water, and you cook it for 20 minutes. It couldn't be easier. It's actually easier than browning ground beef. And but it has a lot more fiber, a lot more nutrients, and because it's plant-based, it's vegetarian, and it's very, very, very cheap. It costs about 65 cents a pound versus what ground beef costs.
And what are some other substitutions that you've made that you found that other people wouldn't necessarily know about?
I found that white beans make a really good substitute for chicken. So any recipe that calls for chicken, especially like a pasta recipe, you can throw white beans in instead and not really notice a difference.
That's great. And what's your blog again? Your blog address?
milehighmama.com.